And I hope hearing these stories really inspires you to start to think about, where in my life am I stuck on not being where I want to be yet?
Welcome to the Empower and Evolve podcast, a space where we will explore topics ranging from mindset to career to business, energetics, spirituality, cyclical living, and beyond. I am your host, Kat Tunnyberg. I am a mindset coach and integrative practitioner on a mission to help you take your life from meh to magical. Without further ado, let's plunge into today's episode.
Hello, my love. Welcome to another episode of the Empower and Evolve podcast. It's all about the journey and not the destination. This has been a big theme for me this week, and I figured it would be time to record a podcast episode on it. I'm sure you've heard the term, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, which is often attributed to Ralph Waldo Emerson, even though it's never actually sure whether he coined it or not. But we've all heard it. It's very used in the self-development space. It's very used in even religious spaces. And it's something that gets thrown around a lot. Yet, how many of us actually truly embrace it? There is so many ways in which our society favors immediate gratification, like wanting things fast, straight away. There is no time to waste. Anything has to happen in this very moment. We have to have the results straight away. We have to have this straight away. There is no time to waste. Everything needs to happen yesterday. And I believe that this has a lot to do with dopamine, which dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is often referred to as the feel-good chemical. And it plays a really critical role in our reward system. It drives us towards pleasurable activities and it reinforces behaviors that make us feel good. However, not all dopamine is created equal. There is those quick dopamine hits, which, bring this sense of a fleeting satisfaction. Like it feels good, but then it's already gone. And then there is way healthier practices of dopamine that provide a more sustainable source of joy and motivation. So we want to start to realize our own relationship with dopamine, maybe the ways that we chase those quick fixes, and how we can start to cultivate more of that healthy dopamine. But first, I want to share with you the stories behind the inspiration of this episode. I had a really, really beautiful client session with one of my long-term one-on-one clients here in Golden yesterday. And for the hour and a bit, all we actually really did was we reflected on the growth that this particular client has had. She came to me in November 2023. We officially started working together in like December when I came back from my trip to Australia. And originally she had signed up for an 8-session personal breakthrough, which was something I was offering back at that time. It's no longer available because I favor long-term mentorship now for multiple reasons. But back then, that was still something that I was offering, and she signed up for it, and she had some hesitations. She had done, therapy in the past, and it never worked. And she was really at a wit's end with her satisfaction with her life, with her relationships, with her career. And she really just felt like she was in a bit of a rut. And her mindset was terrible, and she really couldn't break through on her own. And a friend of hers had actually recommended me. And it's pretty funny, like me and her can now joke about this. But when we were first thinking about working together, like she was sharing with me some of the thoughts that were in her head. It was like, this is bullshit. This is way too expensive. Why would I ever do that? It's not going to work anyway. And yet there was something there that made her lean in and want to give it a go. And yesterday she actually said that a lot of it was the fact that I kept checking in with her and asking her, like, are you still interested? Like, do you have any more questions? I had a discovery call with her and I was there. And this is actually, I was telling her, this is something that I do energetically, because some people I will give them the space. Like if they tell me no, or like it's not the time, I actually do not follow up with them. And with others, like I can energetically feel them in my space. I can energetically feel them kind of being on the edge of either saying yes or no. And with these people, I do like to be front of mind and show them what's possible. So she ended up saying yes back then. And we had some amazing, for me, in my opinion, we had some amazing breakthroughs during those 8 sessions. But for her, I think it was like session 6 or something. We were on my couch in my living room talking about it. And she was like, this is not working. Nothing has changed. I'm stuck. And it was, yesterday we were reflecting back at that session and we were both laughing. And I remember telling her, like, you still have a couple more sessions left. And I said to her, and ultimately, I do believe that there is more work for us to do and you can sign up for more. And she was a little bit hesitant at first, but then she was like, no, I'm going to do it. And she signed up for another 6 months. So we've been working together for a while now. And yesterday was session 8 of her 12 sessions from her 6 months. So we've had 16 sessions together now, which is long-term mentorship, right? We have worked through the initial personal breakthrough and working on integrating her limiting beliefs and her negative emotions and her trauma and her past and change her mindset. And there's been a lot that we have done over these 16 sessions. And yesterday she was telling me about something that happened in her personal life that was quite challenging, that in the past would have sent her over the rails. And she would have been stressed. She would have personalized it. She would have felt really crappy about it. And she wouldn't have done anything about it. She would have just had resentment and just felt really shit. Excuse my language. But now she was able to rise above it, see the glass as half full, not make any assumptions on what was actually truly happening, and instead stay really present for it, stay in a good mindset, feel really good about herself. And we were reflecting how far she's actually come to be in this space. Because when we first started working together, I was really teaching her about the concept, what do you choose to focus on? And at one point, she even had reminders on her phone, like reminding her, like, what do you choose to focus on? And we were laughing because now this is actually something that has become ingrained in her. And she naturally chooses to focus on the good, chooses to focus on the positive, but it's taken time to get there, right? It's like, it wasn't just straight away. And I reminded her as well that, especially when it comes to personal healing work, personal transformation work, personal mindset work, we are dealing with life's worth of negative beliefs and limiting beliefs and patterns that we are breaking through. Like there's years and years and years and years and years worth of conditioning that we're wanting to break through. So it's natural that it takes time to make the changes. And we were reflecting again, like how far she's come and how now this is so easy for her to choose seeing the glass half full, to stay calm and centered, to speak up for her needs and ask for the truth and allow herself to be empowered. Her relationship has improved. She's doing really great. Like I'm actually so proud of her. And the thing is, like when she originally signed up, she hoped to get those results within the 8 first sessions. But the truth is that we never know how long it is going to take for someone to get to where they want to go. Yes, it's great to set timelines. And yes, most of the time I get people really fast results within like 6 to 8 sessions. And sometimes it takes longer. And ultimately, would you rather that it takes you a little bit longer to get to your goal, or you never get there at all? And this is kind of what led us to this whole topic of talking about, it's about the journey, not the destination. Because sometimes we have these crazy expectations and timelines in our mind of when things need to happen and how quickly we need to go get somewhere. But the truth is that everything happens in divine timing. And there is a certain timing in play that is the ideal timing for us. So instead of white knuckling our goals and holding on tight and forcing things to happen, what if we just simply surrendered to the process and allowed ourselves to be divinely guided there at the pace that is right for us? I shared a little bit about this with my Instagram community after that session, and I had quite a few people reach out to me about it. And that was kind of the first piece of why I was like, oh, maybe I should record a podcast episode on this. And then the second piece was, this is the week where I launched the third round of my mastermind, the second round of the Liberated Woman Mastermind since the rebrand. And I took over an hour yesterday to do some reflective journaling on what went well, what could have done better, how I showed up energetically, etc., etc. Like it was a deep dive. It was really beautiful. I had a lot of insights that I didn't even realize. But one of the insights was, I really was manifesting selling out this mastermind, having 15 women in there. And we ended up with 6. And I'm fucking stoked for that, because the 6 women that are in that are incredible. Like, they are my ideal clients. They are my dream clients. I'm really excited to be working with them. A couple of them are brand new to my world, which I'm really excited for. And, the last round only had 2 women in it. So to go from 2 to 6 is very exciting. Yet at the same time, when I very first time launched a mastermind, I had 7 women in there. So I still have this comparison of like, oh, but I need to get like 7 or so. And I was journaling last night and I was reflecting on the journey that has gotten me to where I am today. And I realized I'm trying to force a timeline on the goal of selling out the mastermind. It will sell out when it's meant to sell out. And that timing is just not now. And instead of getting upset with not having what I thought I would have, not getting to the goal that I thought I would want it to get to, it's really about embracing the journey and taking a moment to be really fucking grateful to have 6 women who have entrusted in me to be their guide and help them create success on their terms. That's big. 6 women. I don't take that lightly. And I'm so grateful for these women. And it's so cool to see how they are literally from such diverse backgrounds. We have a virtual assistant. We have a massage therapist. We have a graphic designer. We have a feminine, well, it's not feminine embodiment, but it's female health coach and mindset coach. Like, there's a hairstylist and salon owner. There's so much diverse backgrounds. And it's going to be so beautiful to be in a space with all these women and watch them transform all in their own unique ways over the next 6 months and receive exactly what it is that they need to receive. And that's going to be different from one person to the other. So again, it's about appreciating the journey of being able to guide these 6 women for the next 6 months. So when I had that realization last night after journaling, I was like, oh yeah, I am definitely recording a podcast episode. Really inspires you to start to think about, where in my life am I stuck on not being where I want to be yet? And instead of seeing the beauty of what I already have, I choose to focus on the lack of it happening in my own timeline. Where in your life is that showing up right now? And how could you start to bring your awareness back to gratitude, to love, to appreciation, and recognize what you already have achieved, where you already are at? Because that is really beautiful. Like, the moment that we're able to shift our mindset from results focused to enjoying the daily progress, we're going to build so much inner strength and satisfaction. And that inner strength and satisfaction is going to help us to set ourselves up energetically to attract even more. It's beautiful. Now, coming back to the dopamine, I don't know about you, but it feels to me like every single person around me has ADHD these days, including myself. Like, I've never been diagnosed, but if I read up on it, I'm like, yeah, definitely freaking have it. And if you know me, you know I hate labels. I really do not like to lead with labels because I feel like that's often something that can then put us into a box that is then holding us back from actually getting amazing results. And we kind of get stuck in the victim mindset or the excuses mindset and blaming our label on everything. Because the truth is that, yes, it's real. ADHD is real. And you can still achieve whatever the hell you want to achieve. Like, yeah, you may have to make some adjustments and work out how to do it for you. And that's going to be different as well from person to person. But anyway, I'm going to bring it in today. I'm going to bring in a little bit of ADHD and the connection to dopamine because, why not? Because maybe there's some of you out of there who really love and who have had benefit from that label. And who would I be to take that away from you? You know? And okay, so what is the connection between dopamine and ADHD? So on top of being the feel-good hormone, neurotransmitter, dopamine also plays a really key role in our attention, our focus, and our motivation, which are often challenges for people with ADHD. People with ADHD tend to have lower levels of dopamine, which makes it harder for them to sustain focus or stay engaged in tasks that don't provide those immediate rewards. So especially if you have ADHD and you identify with getting like stuck in that mindset of, oh, I want things now, then just know that that's actually just part of your neurological thing. So that it's great awareness, right? And this is why sometimes the label of ADHD can be really helpful for people, because then you can start to take actions and realize and, not think that you're broken or whatever. Like, this is where this label, quote unquote, is actually helpful. So with people with ADHD having those lower levels of dopamine, this can actually lead to these people seeking out quick dopamine hits, which might be through activities like impulsive behaviors, distractions, high stimulation environments, like all the things. And I'm going to bring some examples of ways that we can get either those quick dopamine hits or the long-term ones. But yeah, if you have ADHD, you may seek those activities. You may seek those quick dopamine hits. So then understanding that, making sense of it, can help you actually start to develop strategies to increase dopamine in healthier ways. So this is where it's really, really helpful. So if you are someone that has ADHD and that has a hard time enjoying the journey and not just the destination, how can we start to cultivate more healthy ways of dopamine? Well, first of all, let's talk about the typical quick dopamine hits of today. First of all, social media, likes, comments, shares, quick little funny reels. They're all ways to get those quick dopamine hits. Online shopping, which is a form of instant gratification for purchasing. And that kind of leads into this whole thing of like, we expect everything to happen straight away, right? It's because of online shopping. Like, you can click a button and then tomorrow it's on your door. That's quick dopamine hits. Junk food as well, sugar and processed foods give you a quick dopamine hit. Not necessarily healthy. Binge watching TV shows, immediate entertainment. Video games, which is immediate rewards and achievements. And then the good old notifications. emails, text, all the app alerts, like just dopamine, 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 dopamine. No wonder we're just living in this overstimulated fight or flight state. I'm a big believer in turning off your notifications for apps. I literally have all of my notifications turned off besides text, my phone, and Voxer, because that's where I communicate with my clients. These are quick dopamine hits. They're going to give you that quick hit, but they're going to leave you feeling empty shortly afterwards. So it's not ideal. So recognizing that these are actually ways that are feeding into the story of seeking immediate gratification, you can start to change it. So healthy ways to boost dopamine is exercise, which boosts our mood and our energy. And even if it's just going for a walk is actually the most underrated exercise ever, because not only does it boost your mood and your energy, it's actually also very stress relieving. I brought this example somewhere else recently, but I feel like it's time to kind of bring it into here as well. When in the quick dopamine hits, we're talking about binging TV shows and kind of doing that sometimes at rest. When I did my yoga teacher training, our philosophy teacher, who was a monk in another life, he taught us that humans, and I still believe this to this very day because I can see this with myself, I can see this with my clients. He told us that humans need at least 10 hours of rest every day. And besides sleeping, the only other true forms of rest are going for a slow walk in nature. And I'm not talking about a walk where you are listening to podcasts at 2 times speed. That's not it. I'm talking about a walk in nature with no distractions, or maybe going with a friend, moving slowly, noticing the beauty around you. And then the third thing besides sleeping and walking is reading. Because when you read a book, you are slowly taking in the information versus when you're watching a TV show, you're getting hit with constant information, which is in a way also stress inducing, even though it might make you feel like it's stress relieving. It's just that brain dead thing. So besides exercise, another healthy way to boost dopamine is meditation, which calms the mind and enhances your focus. And I believe a big misunderstanding of meditation is that in order to meditate truly, you have to be your mind has to be fully quiet. But the truth is, that doesn't happen for most people. And it's actually just about learning to quieten the mind, because your mind is going to wander. It's going to wander. And it's about the practice of noticing when you're wandering and bringing yourself back into whatever form of meditation you're practicing. Mindful eating, putting my hand on my heart, this is something I could do better with. The amount of times that I have my phone with me and I'm reading messages from clients or doing this and that, checking emails whilst eating, I'm really embarrassed to admit it, but it's basically every time. And this is something I really want to work on myself. But being present with your meal without distractions is really nourishing for your body, and it helps you absorb even more of the nutrients. Also creative activities, so engaging in art, music, writing, all the ways that you tap into your creativity gives you healthy dopamine. Learning new skills, which challenges your brain. This is also a more long-term dopamine hit. Connection, meaningful social interactions, that co-regulation. So going for that nice long walk with your friend and just talking, or organizing a get together with your friend, whatever. Healthy social interactions are really, really healthy ways of tapping into dopamine. And then accomplishing small tasks. So this is something that I really like to teach inside my mastermind as well, is starting to set yourself little weekly goals. And you could have little daily goals that you want to achieve. And it can be tiny, tiny, tiny little things. And then when you achieve them, you can tick it off and you can feel really great about you. So instead of like focusing on that long-term goal that might be like millions of steps away, like what is one step that you can do today to move towards your long-term vision? And really remembering, like asking yourself, would you rather it takes 10, 20, 30 years to achieve your goal, or would you rather never get there instead? It's all about the journey and not the destination. I hope you got value from this. I love you. Have a wonderful day. I'll catch you next week.
Thank you for tuning into the Empower and Evolve podcast. It means so much to me that you've taken time out of your day to tune in. If you're open to it, and if you love the episode, I would love to invite you to take a couple of minutes to rate and review the podcast on either Apple Podcast or Spotify. This will help me reach new audiences and share this message more broadly. And if this episode really struck a chord with you, I would like to invite you to share it on social media and tag me at It's Coach Kat so we can spread the love together. Until next time, I'll catch you there.